Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our January 24th live stream. And for this live stream, I was kind of going back and forth on trying to figure out what topic that we would have. Um, but this morning, I heard about the ICE shooting, and it's actually the second one in just a matter of 2 weeks. So I wanted to talk about that uh, just because I mean, I was really kind of upset to see what happened, and the fact that, we know that this isn't the last one that's going to happen,
You
just
mean
based
you
on
mean the,
how things are
the
going.
terrorist who was held down by seven people and still got shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
terrorist.
yeah. So I'm going to go through the various videos that are there and kind of get everyone's reaction on it. The I do want to also kind of talk about our kind of YouTube trolls because you know outside of all the stuff that's happening, uh, they do add some entertainment.
I
Um,
also have a way that we might be able to get rid of Damon.
yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, ultimately, it's like I don't think he's any worse than any of the other trolls, both on YouTube and on Twitter.
No,
And
it's just that
and
I can be a right little vindictive prick when I want
Yeah.
to.
Speaking of like trolls on Twitter, we do have Orange Unit back from last week.
Hey, Orange.
Oh, hello there, everybody. I hope you don't think I'm a troll. I'm just a little crazy
Oh,
and
wait, what?
zany. But I do want to correct something I said last week because I kind of fibbed a little bit at the end of last week's session where I said, I love everybody, I love you all. And then CK said, well, in a brotherly way, right? And I said, yeah.
Man,
But
what is with you?
I kind of lied to you because it's kind of more in a like a sexual gay way. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah,
I
it's okay.
knew it.
We just assume first that it's in a sexual gay way, so I
I'm
don't
not
think
putting
it
on
caused any
the suit
One
confusion.
for
look
anyone.
at
I
one
mean,
look at
especially the
who's
oak.
not, who doesn't get wood.
I, I mean that sexy beard that the oak has. I mean, I'm just telling you. I
The,
gotta be,
the wife
I gotta
beater.
be truthful. Gotta be truthful with you.
I had to cut it. I used to plait it. Came down to my singlet top. But when I was really sick, you get tired of combing out bloody chunks of vomit from your beard, so I just cut it off.
Well, Orange, you glad you came back?
I am so glad you guys invited me back. I appreciate that.
The fuck?
Yeah, and the good thing is like part of the discussion is going to be about the trans issues. Because one of the trolls that we have actually is apparently not an anti-trans person and thinks that gender and sex are different. So, and Machiavelli is very familiar with that person and have had some discussions with them, although there's no record of it anymore. But anyway, for everyone else, how have you been? I mean, we were just talking about the weather before we went live, and at least where we are, it's very, very cold.
It's
And
cold,
what's that?
Yeah, it
I
is.
am. It's a lovely
brutal.
summer day.
Like the
Yes,
way
and for those in the southern
It's warm
hemisphere,
over here.
at least for people who believe in the globe, they,
107 Fahrenheit.
yeah, it's hot.
He's in a heat wave, but I'm in a normal temperature day of about 92, which is yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, for you crazy lads that use Celsius, it's negative 15 where I'm at.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
minus 35
To
right
be
now.
fair, I have experienced minus 15 in far north Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
There is one place, and I was telling that story many years ago, and a dude sticks his head up and I'm not going to name the town, but he sticks his head up and asks, like it's a tiny town of like 2,000 people or something, and he goes, "What?" And then that town, and he gives the name, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly the place. He goes, "Oh yes, he spent a winter there installing an automatic phone exchange many years back." I reckon the coldest freaking place he's ever come across. It's high altitude and dry. So
But the
yeah,
drive's nice. The drive to it is fucking spectacular.
it's it's good. But yeah, there is a place in North Queensland that basically that's imagine a place in Florida that gets to -15. It's yeah, curious.
Good lord.
I'm going to
Yeah,
Right
try.
next,
but by the way, it's in Australia. The Australian Open is happening, so I don't
Ah,
know if
yes,
anyone's a tennis fan.
that's when the heat wave, essentially the Australian Open, is like some sort of weather, um, yeah, thing that calls heat waves. Like just about every year when the Australian Open's on, a heat wave comes along and makes it terrible.
Yeah, they actually had a ball boy essentially faint during a match, and one of the players had to go and like take him over to the shade, and that seems to happen relatively frequently at the Australian Open.
Ta-da! You know how I said not all animals in Australia are out to kill you. I don't know if you want to if you can bring up a close up of my avatar now on the picture. That's what happens when you wet a koala.
Looks
oh,
like he's
great.
hit the meth pipe one too many
Oh,
times.
I
that
thought
is
it
a
was a
low.
drop bear.
Well, but you can see how the legend got started
That is a
because
low grade eldritch horror.
it is a fucking nightmare
Yeah.
to see a wet, drenched koala because they're the smoothest brain animal on the fucking planet. Um, but
Did you see the Z Frank episode where he's got the little song "Koalas in the Rain, No Fucks Given"?
yeah, but yeah, that's what a koala looks like. So you can see where the drop bear legend started because it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
That will
Okay,
haunt my dreams. Thank you.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm going to assume that the echo has disappeared for a lot of you guys.
Yes.
So it turned out to be me.
Yep.
And
Come
I feel really stupid because I thought my headphone, I was listening to everything through my headphone, and it wasn't. It was through my speaker. My Bluetooth hadn't connected, so that's where the
Well,
echo was
well,
coming from.
well.
Even after all
You
the
had
time
one
we said we
job.
think it's you. That's
One
right.
job, QC, one job.
Yeah,
I,
he needs.
I I was actually trolling you guys. The
Oh,
gaslighting. Where is that echo coming from? You guys better check your microphones. It couldn't possibly be me.
Uh,
All right.
You're all devices and fluffy.
Hang on.
Oh,
Before we go to the
yeah.
ice, um, what the fuck is wrong with seppos in the Bible Belt? You know, the monks walk for peace.
Yeah.
They're fucking getting things thrown at them.
Yeah.
Well, because peace is not very Christian, right,
Yeah,
Orange?
That's
true.
right. Yeah, because Jesus brings a sword, not a branch of an olive branch.
yeah, for the average evangelical, the average American who isn't Christian is just a tax collector, and they're the ones carrying the whip.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that. Because
And
honestly,
according to the Hobbit, they don't count as neighbours.
yeah,
right.
the I've known a few monks and or Buddhist monks and nuns, one nun. They're they're fucking just they're nice people, good people. And the idea that these bunch of poor bastards are getting heckled and fucking shit thrown at them, yeah, But better to do it in America because they die on the roads here. Uh,
That's okay. Some of them are dying on the roads here.
yeah, and let's turn
Yeah.
over to ice.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to here, let's say,
During this operation, an individual
oh,
approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a
sorry.
9.
So, sorry, I was trying to just move this. Okay. Yeah, so this is a press conference from Greg Bovino, who heads ICE. And this is the press conference after the shooting. So we'll listen to kind of his description of what happened, and then we will see some of the videos that are there. So what he says here is
9mm semi-automatic handgun. The
oh, wait,
agents
let's
attempted to
just
disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots.
wait. I'm trying to get it back to the beginning because I think we missed the beginning with. As the controls are so bad on this. This really sucks.
Did you try the rewind button?
I just can't get to it. Maybe this will make it easier. Okay, yeah, this
Well,
is
remember,
easier.
QC, not
Oh,
all controls are created equal, but some are more equal than
More than
others.
others, yeah.
That's right.
Welcome to IT support. Have you tried turning it off and on?
okay, there we go. All right, this is from the beginning, and I sped it up a little bit.
During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
So an individual approached these agents with the 9mm handgun.
The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted.
So they immediately tried to disarm him, but he violently resisted. That's
Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots.
notice defensive shots, right? Not at all just to take him down, but as a defense.
Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
And this part comes from when Renee Good, when she was shot, they actually had prevented a doctor from getting to her. And she was alive for 8 minutes after getting shot and wasn't getting medical attention. So this time, they're just being very sure that when they kill or when they shoot someone, they will get you medical attention sooner than later.
At the scene. The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID.
And in America, just to kind of make it clear to everyone here, if you don't have ID, you're a terrorist. I think that's the point he's trying to.
You
make
must
sure
have
that
your
you
papers.
understand. Yeah, you must have your
must
papers. No
Have
ID,
your papers,
obvious.
sir.
Yeah, no ID means you're absolutely there to commit heinous crimes.
That
This
sounds
looks like a
lot
situation
like
where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Yeah, so it's obviously very
With the
clear that.
9mm pistol,
What's that?
you wanted to do maximum damage with the 9mm pistol.
Right.
Well, no, what you didn't get was that he had extra magazines,
Oh,
which can
boy.
only mean
Oh,
maximum damage.
The problem is the extra magazine was Sports Illustrated.
Well, and also, I think this is for our Australian friends. Our Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, is limited to just 1 magazine. If you have 2 magazines, sorry, it doesn't cover.
I think
yeah,
it's limited only to
it
rednecks.
just doesn't work
Just-
that way.
even the vests they wear without what they call plate carriers is all those vests with all the pockets and shit in the front.
Right.
Just the Kevlar in those without a ceramic or steel plate in them will stop a 9mm.
Yeah, because those vests they wear are like level 2 or 3A,
I think level
all dependent.
3. Yeah, level 3 depending on the money the police force was able to get out of the government.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think he only had a 9 millimeter because things are so strict in the U.S. in terms of the guns you can buy. That was all he could get access to.
Yeah, I mean,
Just a
he
nine
couldn't get
millimeter.
anything better, you know.
No,
A little
no.
bit of news after the Bondi shooting. Um, Australia has new hate laws. Everyone's looking at them, trying to work out what they mean. But New
They're
South
that
Wales
vague, huh?
is, yeah, New South Wales is the only state that is changing its firearm laws. The rest of the country, rest of the states and territory want to run an inquiry, either a royal or a state inquiry.
We're doing the Royal
That
Commission now.
Yeah, Royal Commission, because you can't fix something unless you know how it fucking broke.
Yeah.
30 years without a mass shooting, and then yeah. So at the moment, um, I think it's the best thing they could do. Don't go knee jerking into something because, yeah, the gun laws didn't fail. It was this
Gun
implementing.
laws weren't enforced.
They weren't enforced. Yeah, insane. So that's what's happening over here,
Well, in
which
the
means
U.S., like I said, normally you can get pretty much any gun, but unless you're a protester, then you're only limited to getting a 9 millimeter. That's how our Constitution works.
I mean, the one firearm I would love to own would be the the AUG Steyr F86, I think, the Australian Army battle rifle, the bullpup one. I think that they are just so fucking good, and you can get them in 22 caliber, so you could go plinking all day with a little rifle. I just think that's cool. I'll shut up.
Yeah, so this one guy, let's see if I
I'd
can
rather
show
have what
this
the
tab.
emus had.
So this guy, let's see if I can make this bigger. So he was saying that, oh yeah, he was talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, and because I had mentioned that, you know, because I was kind of joking that, uh, because this guy was saying, well, the guy had a gun. So I said, well, are you saying that when you have a gun, you lose your freedom? Tell Kyle Rittenhouse about that. And then the response was, Kyle is a hero. And so it was okay for him to have a gun, and especially like a rifle, and not get shot. So, so I joked, okay, so your Second Amendment rights only apply to certain people. And the response was correct. Second
Yes.
Amendment is for self-defense, to protect yourself and private property, not to chase around ICE agents. And we'll see if he really did chase around ICE agents. But let's see if we can hear the rest of this.
Then, about 200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault law enforcement. Crowd control measures have been deployed for the safety of the public and law enforcement. This situation is evolving, and more information is forthcoming.
Yeah, so more stories. They're going to come up with more stories later. What happens is like it's a very short conference, and he only takes couple of questions, and then let's see.
But let's take a look at the gun. You can see the gun here
And
on the screen
yeah,
there.
the
that
video
that
didn't show
individual
the gun.
possessed. It appears to be a semi-automatic, high-capacity type, possibly a 6-hour 9mm.
Sorry, no more questions. Sorry, no more questions, sir.
Yeah, so right after two questions, it's like, that's it, no more questions. And
All
by
right,
the
at
way,
least it was a good brand.
Second
yeah,
Amendment.
yeah,
Make it
This
nice.
yeah.
this is laughable. They think the dude. So this is the narrative they come up with. A
Yep.
dude with a 6-hour 9mm is an alleged terrorist. Come on, bruh. Come
Well,
on, bruh.
and the fact that he came like all aggressive, waving around the 9 millimeter and threatening the the ICE agents, and they had to actively work to get him disarmed, and he was violently resisting. So that's
Yeah,
the narrative. Okay,
yeah,
so
I've seen the footage, so that y'all are going to be in for a ride for this one.
yes, so let's watch and now try to let's see. Okay, play the first one. Let me see if I
Doing
just
too much, man, and they keep pushing people.
let's see if I can do this. Okay. Yeah, so this is a guy I think from across the street filming
People,
this.
you know. They
Right, so
doing too
right from
much,
the
man, and
beginning,
they keep pushing people, you know.
they got him down, or they're trying to get him down.
Why the fuck can't American law enforcement detain someone without beating the
This
shit
is how
out
they're
of them?
doing it.
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
I mean, the Poms
Not
and
again! Are you fucking kidding me? That
Aussies
guy's dead.
police can take someone down barehanded. They don't have to resort to shooting all the time.
Well, they
I
didn't
don't know.
have to resort to shooting. They had him, and they didn't have to pull out the gun. So here's another one, another footage. Oops, darn it. So this is happening way earlier. So the guy with the right hand, that's the guy that got shot and killed. So he's just kind of standing around.
Go.
Okay, directing traffic a little bit. That's all right.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Fuck off.
So yeah, so they just. Oh, actually, did you guys
Was that
see
a
that?
pepper spray?
Yeah, that was pepper spray.
Yep.
So
What the fuck is wrong with you?
okay, so watch right here. Oh, darn it! I hate these controls. This is just
Okay.
okay. So right after this, the ICE agent just basically pushed that woman right
What
here,
the fuck is wrong with you?
right there. Just pushed her, and the guy knows both of them, and then he just gets pepper spray like that, and then while he's trying to help her, they just pull him off, and then throw him in the ground.
The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
So they have him on the ground, and right here, gun is pulled, shot, two more shots, one more shot, and then he's just lying there prone, and then they're just like shooting him, continuing to shoot him.
And then they scatter like cockroaches.
Yeah, I believe the
Yeah, I mean,
report was
because
he was
like
shot 10 times, I believe it was.
yeah, so the very first time, like if I was an agent right there and I hear a gunshot, I'm going to like scatter, right? Because you don't know who's shooting. And that's why like they let him go and then they move away. But while he's there lying prone, they're shooting him. So
Yeah.
now think about how that matches to the narrative that Bongino or Bombino gave, right? This guy was just like standing there, just just recording what's going on, and he wasn't attacking them. He didn't have his gun out, but from the narrative, he had his gun out and he was attacking them, and it doesn't match. It doesn't match at all what they said.
Well, no, and it didn't match a week ago.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
narrative, he was there with the gun to commit a terrorist offence and attack them, and you just go, what? He was the
Yeah,
one
the
who was.
narrative. Yeah, the narrative doesn't make sense from the outset because, as we've seen, unfortunately, in the U.S. time and time again, if someone's intent on doing a terror attack, they're gonna shoot first to ask questions later. They're not gonna take out their phone to record before they start doing the rampage. So this doesn't make sense from top to bottom.
yeah, he was taking no aggressive action. They had just grabbed him and threw him down. And for them, that's called assault on federal officers. But let me just show you the slow motion, because it's hard to see. And this is
To
like more
answer,
cropped.
to answer Craig's question, some of them are ex-army with dishonourable discharge. A lot of them are people who washed out of the police academies or kicked out for psych evaluations.
I'm actually
Uh,
surprised that Florida Gumpy hasn't gone and joined ICE, because that would seem like the sort of thing he'd do.
That
so I
crossed,
actually
crossed
have a
my
theory
mind.
about that. You know,
That
because
crossed my
he was
mind.
talking about how he was getting training and stuff. I kind of think that he's getting ICE training.
I
Because I think
wouldn't.
he's exactly the sort of person they want.
That's right.
Aggressive as fuck and full of hate.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm sure there are some Jan Sixers there as well.
Oh
Oh
no,
yeah,
yeah, that's been confirmed. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
It's like the white nationalist types and whatnot.
yeah.
I believe there was a couple pictures and a couple videos of them with their tats exposed, and it's,
Well, there's actually a guy with the Nazi tattoo that was like visible, who got
yeah, I
identified.
remember that.
But
Oh,
here's a
Yeah.
yeah.
an
Go ahead.
Australian went
The
to the
vault nut and
beach.
everything.
Sorry, an Australian went to the beach, I think, after Christmas, and someone spotted that he had white power and a swastika on his back of his car. Yeah, he's probably going to go to jail for a little while under the new hate laws, hate speech, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I think that's a little bit rough, but yeah, as I said,
Well, I mean, in the U.S. with the First Amendment, those things wouldn't pass.
yeah,
But
Yeah,
who knows?
it's a little bit. It's why when I rode, I basically stayed a clean skin. I had nothing put on me in ink that would link me to the club. Sorry, the alleged club I rode with.
Yes.
The police recruitment over here, there's a whole handbook showing you the type of tattoos that Nazis have,
Mm,
because Nazis are banned from joining the police over here.
yeah, it's
So I've
quite an
had to,
interesting book
tell
to
people
read.
what particular tattoos count.
Yeah. Well, they Australia couldn't get enough people to join up the army because they had strict tattoo rules that so they
actually, Neil,
relaxed
could
them.
you send me a private message or an email of like that list of tattoos?
Hmm. If Neil can't find it, I got it in a document somewhere as well.
Oh, okay.
the
I'll
Yeah.
try and dig it out if I can
the
find it.
Southern Poverty Law Centre
It's it, it's
also does that.
it's not my material.
Sorry about swearing.
There's a little bit of crosstalk. All right, so this is the slowdown version of what we had seen the first video that we saw. And the guy standing there in the gray, he's the guy who's essentially like he saw the gun and he's basically taking it out. So he's disarming the guy that got shot. The guy's name is Alex Pretti, and he was like a registered nurse. So he's taking the gun, and you see it in his hand. He takes it out, and then right away there's the first shot. Actually, I'm gonna lower the volume. Yeah. So right after the guy gets disarmed, there's the first shot, and then right after that the others pull out guns, and then they're shooting. You can see the shooting that happened. So he's down, and they were shooting him. Yeah. So the whole thing happened pretty quickly.
There's no need to shoot someone while you're backing away when he's already laying still on the ground.
Yeah. So if you look carefully, you can see him falling from a kneeling position. So he somehow got up on his knees when I think after the first shot, when everyone kind of scattered, he got on his knees, and then he got a couple more shots, and then he falls.
Well, he's on his knees here now when they're taking the gun out of him. See, he's
Yeah,
on
right
his-
there. Yeah. So there's a first shot, and he jerks, and then there's a couple more shots, and he falls. Right there. So that's him right there, and right after he gets shot. So it isn't the first shot that takes him down. It's the next two shots that essentially take him down.
Yeah, so they disarmed him and then shot him.
Yes, that's right. He was disarmed, and then he got shot. And just to be fair, I think what happened was like the guy that shot him probably may not have realized that the guy was disarmed.
I'm almost certain he didn't, because when your adrenaline's pumping, one of the
Yeah.
first things you get is tunnel vision. And
Yeah.
if he's looking at the guy on the ground as a threat, he's especially if he hasn't been trained on how to manage and keep that adrenaline from just fully taking over, he's not going to notice that the gun has already been taken from the guy. And that's assuming that even is the gun and that isn't just the black foam that he had earlier.
And it's
No, it was the gun. The later
Oh, okay.
other video shows it makes it very clear that the guy that took off had the gun. You
Okay,
can see the
gotcha.
shape.
also
Yeah.
unless you've gone through live fire or had other training, the continual trigger pull that guy did, that is pure adrenaline, nerves, tunnel vision, the whole lot. You only need to fire, so a burst of 3, wait and see. That's what I was drummed in and taught. Because usually, if you're a marksman worth his salt, you can stop a person with 3 bullets. It's not hard. It gets a
Especially when
little
your
harder when
target's
you
point blank.
gets a little harder when you switch to long guns, and someone's shooting at you. That gets a little fun.
But Ook, I think that kind of speaks to one of the points that a lot of people are bringing up about ICE as a whole during both of these tragic instances, which is you've got people. ICE is allowing people to join without the psych backgrounds, without the background checks, without the training,
Yeah.
without just they're just letting these people loose on the street.
One
Yeah.
thing I also noticed: don't they have a fitness fucking level?
Yeah, but
They did.
Well,
Yeah.
did you hear the story about the reporter who got hired by ICE without ever filling in any of the paperwork or doing any of the background checks or anything?
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, good job. She received a oh, you got to fill in this stuff about your criminal history and all the rest of that. And she's like, eh. And then like a couple of weeks later, she gets a thing saying your start date is such and such.
The check for $30,000 will be in the mail soon.
Yes.
I mean, this guy supposedly was part of ICE for many years, so he wasn't like a recent hire. it was like 5 or 8 years. So, and even the guy
Well,
that shot Rene Good was also like a, quote unquote, a veteran. So,
Makes
you
it a
know,
little.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
take
being a
with that what
veteran
you
ICE
will.
agent, well, I was gonna say that being a veteran ICE agent doesn't mean that he's been through live fire training, has done multiple drills and whatnot,
been
and
shot at.
managed the panic response, so on and so forth. You know, he could have just been like the ICE equivalent of a beat cop,
Yeah.
or pushing papers.
Now, I mean, take it from someone who has been shot. Um, yeah, it hurts, and you can run for a little bit on adrenaline, um, but yeah, the adrenaline soon just the moment there's a slight delay, you get the adrenaline dump, and you start to shake, you sweat, yeah, um, it's something that um, you can
Yeah,
only
you're talking.
explain if another person has been shot at or shot themselves. It's a strange thing.
Yeah.
The first person who shot me was my stepfather.
Yeah.
He was drunk,
Wow.
didn't realize that the 22 was loaded, and got me in the
Oh,
leg.
he knew.
Uh, well,
I'm just kidding. I'm
he
just
probably,
kidding.
but yeah, he shot me in the leg, and I managed to get up half the stairway to where he was, um, grab the gun, knock his front teeth out, and put him over the veranda. Um, I loved my stepfather, but yeah, on the piss, the man was dangerous.
So this is the guy in the gray jacket. He's taking this away, and you can tell by the outline that it's the same gun. At least what they claim is, the gun he had.
Is that
Uh,
still in its fucking holster? Is that a
no,
Yeah.
Coyote?
no,
Is that
No,
a
it's
oh,
not.
Coyote?
It looks
I
like
don't
he's
think
got an
so.
optic on it too.
Yeah, no, it isn't. That's actually the magazine. So the picture on
Oh,
the
okay.
right, which is what the White House had posted, and made it seem like it was the gun that was confiscated, is actually a picture that they pulled off of the internet. So,
Bruh.
Yeah.
You can
That
see the gun.
doesn't look like a SIG.
Not.
what was that?
That doesn't look like a SIG. SIG is a bit.
It doesn't.
They're a bit more graceful. Um,
Yep.
Machiavelli would be able to. Yeah, they're a bit more.
Yeah, the lower on that third picture on the right looks like the lower of like our frame of like a 1911, or
Yeah, with that
So
nice.
this is a picture.
Yeah,
So if you just did an image search, you'll see that it's all over the internet, like from days ago. So they basically just found a picture of that particular gun, and the White House posted it as, "Hey, this is what the guy was carrying."
but it's definitely got a red dot sight of some description.
yeah, yeah, he's got a, I would assume to be a red dot sight. Looks like FDE slide, black lower frame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bit of customization there, but it still looks like a 1911 to me.
So
well,
do we know the
the
name of?
one
Mm,
I was gonna say, the one that the guy is holding, not the center and right image, the one on the image on the left of him holding the gun,
looks
that could be a
SIG-ish.
SIG because
Yeah,
their full-sized guns do have the little beaver tail,
yeah,
as we call it. They do have those, but on their smaller ones that are for like concealed use, they normally don't have the beaver tail.
yeah. That gets hung up on clothing.
True.
Do we know the name of the agent that assassinated this dude?
No, I mean, because
Not yet.
until Christy Nome doxes him, we won't know.
Fair enough.
So I mean, I was trying to find the tweet from the White House where they post that exact same picture and make it seem like that's what he was carrying. But yeah, I can't find it right now. But let's see the rest of that video. Oops. Go from the scene. Okay, so yeah, so this is a slow down video. So Ice pushes her and pepper sprays him and pepper sprays him again.
He walked straight into that pepper spray, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, they
Yep.
pull him off. They pull him off of her, and they've essentially got him down here. And so it looks like they have everything under control, right? And right here he draws a gun.
It looked like a rugby union mall.
And that's the guy in the gray who took the gun. And there was a first shot, and then two more. Right in his back. So while the guy's back is turned, he gets shot twice. Like
Is it just
execution
me, or
style.
does it look like he has his phone in his right hand still, or is that just like his fist with his
I
right
don't
hand
know.
there?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I
Yeah.
think it's just his fist.
Yeah, I think he was. It may be like he has gloves on, and it looks like he's holding something. But yeah, I don't think he had anything. But yeah, and so after the second and third shot, he just slumps down. And the woman taking the video runs away, and then from distance they're shooting him. So
You beat a dead horse, and you can't make it drink.
Sorry, mate.
what was?
So I said you can beat a dead horse, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I don't-
yeah, go ahead.
I just think it's training. They haven't
I
had enough
agree.
training.
I agree.
I mean, they're just like trigger happy, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
if you
born
look,
to do that. That's what they want. They're after people of that sort of nature because these are basically the 21st century version of the Gestapo. They are a secret police force who are being used to attack the populace.
well,
Wouldn't-
just imagine. I mean, these guys are generally dealing with, quote unquote illegals. So not all of when the quote unquote illegals are being arrested, there isn't like all this like video cameras going on. So if incidents like this happen where they get trigger happy and they just shoot them, they'll just say, well, they were attacking us. Kind of like that press conference. Yeah, the guy came at us. He was violent and we had to shoot him. And we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have multiple different videos from multiple different people, to, demonstrate that they're actually lying. So we would just have to believe them. And they'll say, well, this guy was like a bad hombre. He was a child molester or whatever. Just, I mean, because like they are painting even that guy who's a registered nurse who was just, recording the session. They're calling him a terrorist, a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, without any
Anything to back their own.
yeah, but without any evidence of any kind.
No evidence, and in fact, evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
Oh, just real quick, Tuna asked a question earlier.
I was going to address that too. Go on.
Yeah, the ICE agents don't, as a universal practice, don't wear body cams. Some do.
Of course they don't.
I have seen some with them on in some of the videos. You see some ICE agents with cameras on, but two things. A, did they ever turn them on? And B, you can frickin' guarantee that video is not going to be made available to law enforcement. It's going to be classified or something else, and it's going to be.
Well, and that's the thing. Like they should all have them on. Period. And in my view, if you turn off your body cam, that should be an automatic felony.
They're literally blocking the state agencies from coming and investigating and preserving evidence.
They did that too with Renee Good as well.
That's right. That's right.
That said, though, Tim Walls and I don't know the name of the person sort of in charge of the investigation did say that they didn't get a chance to, like, the ICE agents apparently scattered, but the and police did come in to start collecting evidence, but it was kind of overrun by protesters, so they left. So the scene wasn't properly investigated because of the protesters, and you can just see, well, of course, the protesters are going to be losing their shit a bit there over this behaviour. So yeah, but you can.
They were trying to take away people's videos, recordings. So they want to control the narrative, and the narrative right now is that this,
This dice.
yeah, this domestic terrorist with bunch of loaded, loaded gun with bunch of magazines, with extended, extended capacity magazines, came at the agents who were only there to catch, illegals who are child molesters, and they tried to disarm him, but he was so strong and so violent they had to kill him. That's the narrative.
They they appear to not know what a police baton is, or also they don't know just an arm lock, a nerve strike to a nerve cluster. It's not fucking rocket science. I just don't know why they have to pull the guns first. Yeah.
Yeah, and and the other thing too, I'm wondering when it comes to the disarm that was done on the guy, I wonder if one of the agents like screamed or said he's got a gun, and then the gun is in the holster, but the other guy doesn't see that it's in the holster, and as he pulls the victim's gun out of the holster, if he might have misread the situation as he's got a gun, but I can't see it, so I'm going to take the safe bet and shoot him now anyway, just in case he accidentally fires it, assuming he has it on hand. I wonder if that's how it played out.
I can understand how that might happen, but it's still training.
I don't know. I'm in agreement 100%. I'm just saying that, like, I wonder if that's how this will get spun.
It does hark back to what I was saying a couple of weeks back when we were talking about people carrying a weapon makes you at more risk of dying. There is a reasonable chance that if this guy wasn't carrying a weapon, he would have just been beaten up and pepper sprayed, and maybe tasered. I don't know, but definitely he was going to get beaten up. But yeah, the gun meant that someone was spooked. So yeah.
And the ironic thing is that the MAGA, who are speaking out against it, are generally Second Amendment, purists, where they keep on bringing up it shall not be infringed. But now it's like, oh no, this guy, it was all his fault. FAFO is like, he was carrying a gun, so of course he's going to get shot. What was he expecting? They're just like placing the blame on him for exercising his Second Amendment rights because he was legally carrying that gun.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. Rules for thee, but not for me.
As opposed to Kyle Rittenhouse.
That's right.
Who was not legally carrying that gun.
Yeah, but he's a freedom fighter.
Yeah, he was there to protect property, whereas this guy was there to kill ICE agents.
Yeah,
which
you
is
can tell that by him directing traffic, because that's what every terrorist does. They get out and help direct some traffic.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's
no radar.
Leading at this point, because rules apply to all or they apply to none. I just don't understand why they just keep special bleeding for law enforcement when the Second Amendment does not specify anything. It just says you have the right to bear arms and organize against a tyrannical government. That's it. Nothing else.
Not gonna lie, that was a good pun right there. Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And they love to change the narrative. So it turns out now, if you get Christy Nome's second edition of her book, it turns out that Cricket was carrying, and he was reaching for his gun, and that's why she shot him.
Oh, he had it coming.
Yep, that's a new narrative.
What
Why
about the
would he
goat?
carry an extended magazine if he wasn't going to try to kill her?
Oh
Yeah,
my
what about the
goodness.
goat?
What is classed as an extended magazine? 4 or 5 rounds past the standard magazine, or
It depends on the firearm in question. If it's handguns, it also depends on the size. But assuming that the handgun he was carrying was like a full size, like 6 hour, like if it was like the P365 XL or the macro,
that's a
uh,
14 or 16, isn't it?
yeah, it's somewhere in there. So that might be standard, but an extended might have 20 rounds or more,
Yeah.
depending on how big the firearm
I
was.
mean, you can't really walk around with or use a pistol with an extended magazine because it gets caught up in your clothing.
Yeah,
That's sort of why I like revolvers. I'm sort of old fashioned. Um, I've never
yeah,
really
I
shot
favor
a
the
lot.
I guess what they call the micro, handguns, if you will, the ones that are smaller,
Yeah,
easier to conceal and whatnot, lower capacity, but I still have more capacity than a revolver. But
yeah. I like
Yeah,
the
the scene from the
yeah,
Clint Eastwood saying, do you think you've counted whatever 5, 6 bullets or 7 or 5 or 6 bullets?
I think
It doesn't work very well if you're talking about extended magazines.
that's true.
true.
but I could see no reason why, especially he was directing traffic. He was non-threatening. He was actually trying to help, make sure
I
that people
think he
could drive
knew the
cars.
2 women who were with him, and so he was helping that woman that got pushed down by the ICE agent.
Yeah, and I've seen there's another angle of footage that shows slightly before this happened, and you can see one of the ICE agents pushing one of those women, and then he pushes her again, and that's when she falls into the snow. And that's
Yeah,
when he goes over like, hey, get away from her. And then that's when he gets pepper sprayed.
twice.
Yep. And then those idiots walked into their own pepper spray.
Yeah, I did. That was
That's
that was a classic. Shouldn't laugh though, because someone lost their life. But yeah, they
Yeah,
need
I'm not
better
sure what
training.
the. Has anyone heard if the 2 women with him had any relationship with that guy? Like, were they friends, or did they just happen to just meet each other in that situation?
Not seeing
I haven't
anything.
seen anything.
I haven't seen anything either.
Yeah, because I mean, those women, as well as the woman who was taking the video, they witnessed the murder. Because he was dead on the scene.
No shit. He was dead before they started lining up and shooting him.
Yeah.
I
And that first and second and third shot were like at close range, so there was like no way.
They would have been more than 3 meters from him.
Yeah,
That's the furthest distance I noted. 3 meters, 3 and a bit yards.
I mean it was actually like pretty much at point blank. Let me see
Yeah,
if I
it was.
can.
It just takes
Yeah.
us half a step back, if that.
This is
I mean, all he had to do was a slight leg hook, that guy who pushed the woman, and he could have directed the fall. where she fell. She could have fallen nice and soft and easy, but no, he went the big double-handed push.
Well,
Yeah,
no, I
this
mean,
is where the first shot is happening. So it's like right there. It's the guy in the green. He just shoots. So um, yeah, it was just like right there.
But what about bounces? That's what happens when a, a round comes out of the gun and it bounces off the concrete or whatever. Um,
Yeah, I mean it's like ricochet, right?
yeah.
So it was like actually dangerous for him to be just shooting.
You can learn um, how to bounce your rounds and actually hit targets with it. Takes a lot of practice, but yeah, I
Well, we
think that,
know they're too dumb for that.
yeah. See, all he had to do was hook a foot round her ankle, get a bit closer to her, hook a foot round her ankle, and a slight push. She's down. She's not. No
Yeah,
training.
a little bit of judo training or jujitsu training would go a long way.
Yeah.
well, a little de-escalation training would go a long way. These,
Well, that included.
yeah,
Give
You
them
don't want
back.
the Zoom squad to be proper law enforcement
That's
because
true.
that's not what Trump wants. He wants to he
He
wants
wants
as much.
thugs.
Yeah, he wants people to start to fight back so he can call the Insurrection Act, invoke that, and then send in the army. And to that, I'll just show you the Truth Social that Trump posted. Did we see this?
No.
Oh,
So
I haven't seen that.
yeah, so this is what he posted, and unsurprisingly, it's fucking bonkers. So for those listening, this is the gunman's gun loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go. What's it all about? Where's the local police? Why aren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and governor called them off. It stated that many of these police are not allowed to do their job, that ICE had to protect themselves. Not an easy thing to do. Why does Ilhan Omar have $34 million in her account? Wholly left turn at Batman. Like, yeah, and where's the tens of billions of dollars that have been stolen from the once great state of Minnesota? And you go, yeah, he's off on that.
Well, she has $34 million because she married some guy with $34 million.
Yeah,
Yep.
nobody's asking where Trump's getting all his billions of dollars from. You go,
Yeah.
but a brown woman. So
Yeah. So if you scroll down, the photo of that gunman's gun is
it's
actually it's just an internet picture. It's
yeah,
not that gunman's gun.
What
Yep.
the fuck? Put the back in down a bit more, bit more. Yep. That doesn't
so
look normal.
Yeah, it looks
It looks like
bent,
it was
right?
custom.
What that top? I guess I don't know what. That's not the barrel, is it? The one that's like bent like that.
Right on the far left of the picture,
Yeah,
that's the
that black
magazine,
piece that's the barrel. The black thing to the left of the slide is the magazine.
and the
And
thing
then,
behind that is the red dot sight.
yep.
It's
No, but
locked in
that
the.
black barrel doesn't that look like it's is that
No,
supposed to be
that's
like that?
normal with the
Yeah,
gun.
that's normal.
It
When
is.
you
Yeah,
pull back the slide.
when the slide goes to the rear, the
Uh huh.
barrel comes forward and is pulled slightly up at an angle.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Yeah, you don't want it to come out straight.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
makes
it's
sense.
That
it's for
makes
the
sense.
loading of the next round in with the pressure, the gas pressure.
Yep.
But
Okay.
having a pistol like that in that condition it's completely rendered safe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um, it's
but
good gun practice.
just get to the back of this comment. So the mayor, so much for what you're witnessing is a cover up for this theft and fraud. So apparently, the person being murdered by ICE was a cover up for some fraud in Minnesota. Not sure how that works. The mayor and governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric. Instead, these sanctimonious and political fools should be looking for billions of dollars that have been stolen. But yes, here it is, are inciting insurrection. So he's pushing that narrative again, and
Yeah.
that's why they want poorly trained ICE agents, because they want an insurrection-looking thing so that they can justify calling in all the rest of the military.
Wait. Something just occurred to me. That gun might have been the SIG P320. And if it is the P320, oh shoot, it really might be the P320. Oh no. Oh, that gun has a reputation for being what we call the toe popper. So this narrative makes even less sense. He'd be more likely to shoot himself with that thing than actually hit anybody.
Oh dear.
Well, fuck me, I think
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah, that they allegedly fixed
Misfires.
the problem with the negligent discharge, but it still has the reputation and it's still memed to death by the gun community.
A little bit like the Ford Pinto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out you're more likely to die in a fire in a Tesla than you are in a Ford Pinto.
Yep.
I mean, if Orange is still there and if he doesn't mind having a look, what's the thinking in your congregation, the people that the other religious people? What's the whole? I don't know. Yeah, what are you finding from the religious side of things?
Wait, Orange,
Yeah.
are you you're a pastor, right? Or you're a leader in your congregation?
I am a minister, yes.
Oh, minister, that's right. Sorry.
No, that's okay. The whole thing is tragic, of course. It's very sad to see. I mean, the guy is according to his parents, I have no reason to doubt them, but he's a nurse in an ICU unit at a veterans hospital. So here's a guy who's probably saved a lot of lives, right, given his profession, and he saved a lot of lives, and here he lost control of his own life from my vantage point, right? So he's going into a known, highly charged emotional situation. A lot of emotions are going on. There's already been shootings in the past. He goes in with a gun and 2 clips. So what the heck is a nurse going into a volatile situation that's emotionally charged with a gun and 2 clips? I mean, what's his
I
what's his
actually I
objective?
don't know. I don't know if
I don't
he's
either.
actually I don't know if he actually had 2 clips with him, or whether that's just the administration saying that.
Yeah, if it was
Yeah,
me,
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't
could
have.
just be part of like
right.
some BS narrative for all we know. Like he
I
could have
wouldn't
just
have
True.
had one
taken.
mag on him.
Yeah, I wouldn't
So
have taken a firearm to a situation like that because you
yeah,
make yourself a target. But he did.
still.
Yeah,
Yeah, still, it's tragic that he made this decision. Now, imagine if his parents. I don't know if he's got a wife or kids. Has that come out yet? If he's married, if he's got a family, I mean, 34 years old. I almost want to think he probably has a family, but I don't think that's come out yet. At the
I
very
don't
least,
know
he has.
if I mean, because like I think if he was gay, that would have come out right away. The administration
Probably.
would have just
yeah,
Yeah.
paraded that out, kind of like how with Renee Good. Oh, she has a wife,
For sure.
and she lost custody of her children, so she
Yeah.
deserved getting shot in the head. It would have come out like that if that was the case.
More than likely, yeah. So, was it, he was 34 or 37? I forget what his age was, but so he at least at the very least has parents, and all I can think of is as a parent myself, if I had foreknowledge that something like this was going to happen to my kids, of course I would do everything. And undoubtedly, if they had foreknowledge of this, they would try to stop him too. And it's unfortunate. Nobody knows, right? These things happen. Nobody can foresee it. And he goes into the situation, and I think a
Well,
lot of
I mean,
people
but the thing is, I mean, it's like there are people who stand up for principles and will put their lives on the line for what they think is right. So when they hear about a woman, and he, in this instance, wasn't that far from the Rene Good incident. When you think when you personally, right, your values, your morals tell you that the government killing a woman, shooting her in the head is wrong, someone like that, someone who's like a nurse who helps others, who works with veterans, might think that that is wrong and might go and actually do something about it and stand up for his beliefs. So
So
to say that means that, oh, he puts himself in a position where he could just get killed by the ICE agent at any time. If that was the risk that every one of those protesters should be taking into consideration, we're not living in the right country.
Yeah.
This is not the country where you should be thinking, if I stand up for my rights and I exercise my First Amendment, the government might just kill me. So I am wrong. I should not be doing that. And my friends should stop me from going and doing that. You are in the wrong country, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't
well,
think Orange was suggesting that. He was just saying, a bit of forethought. I wouldn't have taken a firearm into that sort of situation.
yeah, same here. I think most people aren't doing that. But
Yeah.
the Bible, looking at this from a religious or biblical standpoint, the Bible does say the wise man sees a danger and proceeds to conceal himself. And those are wise words. I mean, those words can protect us from all types of dangerous situations. I don't have a gun, and even if I did, and if I was very passionate about a matter, I would never do that. And I think
Yeah.
I'd say it's true of 99.999% of the protesters that are out there. However, it's a very agitated state. It's a very volatile state. And where does this go from here? Here's I can tell you I can almost guarantee that by this time next week, this situation will be overshadowed by something far more significant. And that's because people are getting more agitated. They're getting more upset, and Trump's going to bring in more people, and then the people are going to get more upset, and then Trump's going to bring in more people, and then where does this cycle end, right? So is there going to be more shootings? Where does it end?
So
How
the
does
protests
it
better
end?
stop, right? The protests better stop, or
Well,
the
both
killings will
sides.
continue.
I think the solution is really, really simple, and it's unfortunate it's not being declared. And I won't, because ICE is a much bigger organization than the common people, right? I mean, they got the government backing, so I think ICE needs to be kind of take a stand and say, okay, we're going to lay down, we're going to stop for 3 days, and during this 3 days, we're going to meet with Tim Walz and his administration, and we're going to sit down, we're going to discuss with them. Here's the people we want to get off the streets. This guy raped a 6-year-old little girl. This person did this. This person did that. And I wish there was better. I don't think anybody can dispute that there needs to be better communication between the Trump administration and Walz administration, because right now all they're doing is fighting. They're both spinning the story the way they want to spin it, right? You quoted the Trump administration several times as spinning the story their way, and that's what presidential administrations do. But hey, you know what? Tim Walz has been doing it too. He's been saying, "Oh, these protesters are out there. They're peacefully protesting." It's like, yeah, a lot of them are, but there's a lot of them that aren't. There's a lot of them that
Wait, so
are screaming and
just
spitting. And
Who's Tim Wells?
Tim
He's the
Walz.
Tim Walz.
Come on.
The
governor.
governor of Minnesota.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
sorry.
He ran for vice president.
Yeah,
Ah,
He
that's
was
what
on
He
the
was
ticket.
Kamala Harris's running mate.
Yeah,
Kamala.
but
Okay.
I would like to see both sides just stop and agree to stop for 3 days. They sit down at the table. They say, and ICE just puts the cards out on the table and say, hey, we need to get these people
Wait,
and
Orange.
give
I
us
mean,
give us one
realistically.
day.
Wait,
Yeah,
but Orange, realistically, do you think that the
I can give you
Trump
realistic-
administration would do that? Would accept that even?
No, of course not. And that's the problem. And that is part of the problem. But the thing is, the Trump administration could, if they wanted to, in one day, get everybody that they want and just get the hell out of there. I mean, they could, right?
Okay,
So
which do you
It's
think
not a
should
both
happen?
sides situation, though, is it?
they could go in one day, get all the bad guys that they want to get. I mean, the force of the military and the National Guard and ICE is
There's
far more
nothing
than
stopping them from getting the bad guys.
I know.
They're
Well,
not stopping them from getting bad guys. They're trying
right.
to stop them from like arresting citizens for just being there.
I mean,
Yeah,
none of them
So
are.
and also just to interject here really quick, let's just say hypothetically that they were to do this meeting and Tim Walz just says, "No, we don't want you here. Get out of my state." I mean, I'd be obliged to say, "Okay, all right. Well, I mean, if the people don't want us here, then why are we here?"
And honestly, that really would be the best possible outcome for the Trump administration. And here's why. Because let's say that the state is being run with all of these terrible, horrible, no good, very bad people. The next time that something happens, Trump Trump can hang his hat on. See, we tried to help you, but Trump is going off of this idea that the cruelty is the point because he can't win on the merits. I mean,
Yeah,
Orange,
exactly.
so
Wait, do you know who Pam Bondi is blaming for this? Yes.
Democrats.
Anyone?
Biden.
No, Joe Biden. It's
Yeah,
Joe
but
Biden's fault.
Or
I'm
well,
serious.
in
That's
part,
hell of a
She
you
threat.
may have a point.
because he
Right?
let all these illegals, which caused
Yeah.
the ICE to go chase after the illegals, and because the citizens were getting in the way, they had to kill him. So
oh
ultimately, it was
please.
Joe Biden's,
so
No,
which
no, no.
ultimately is Obama's fault. For having Joe Biden
as the vice
as a
president
vice
in the first place.
president, so
Yeah,
all we
that's
can
it.
say is thanks Obama.
Thanks,
Oh,
Obama.
yeah,
So
and
Well, I
Orange,
suppose
Orange,
there's a lot of
here's my question to you. So in any given situation where ICE is interacting with the public, good, bad, neutral, what is ICE's responsibility to de-escalate the situation so that there isn't guns fired, so there isn't fatalities? What is their responsibility to do as far as that goes?
I think they're commissioned to go and get bad people. I'm not sure if they're commissioned to necessarily keep civil peace in the area. Although they're probably getting some training now, maybe too little, too late. I don't know. I don't know how that part works with the ICE, but I do know, as everybody knows, they're commissioned to get they're immigration enforcement, right? Illegal immigration enforcement.
Right. But I guess my question
So
to you, I guess my question, let me speak to a broader, question here. In any given situation where you have law enforcement that has, the ability to fire a weapon, do you disagree that they should have a responsibility to de-escalate the situation to any and all methods so that they don't have to fire on a civilian?
I think that's a reasonable expectation. Yes.
Okay, so then what we're seeing here is, I think you and I actually agree on this, where ICE needs to have. So it's not about sitting down with Tim Walz or with anybody. They need to go back and get better trained, so that first of all they can tell when a woman is driving a car away from somebody so that that person doesn't get killed, so that they're not going through a PTSD reaction potentially and having an adrenaline dump causing them to fire multiple rounds on somebody that has already been disarmed. It feels to me as if you're suggesting that by having the gun and by being in that situation in the first place, it feels like you're trying to soft backdoor reasoning that he brought it on himself. Now that can't be what you're suggesting, is it?
No, what I'm suggesting is that ICE is going in with a mission, right? And keep in mind, ICE is not a political entity. They might have personal views.
What?
Well, they're not. They never have been. They never have been. Uh, it's
Yeah.
not.
There's
They
They,
are
they
the
They're
are.
government.
not a
They are a political
political.
entity.
No, they're not. They're not voted in. It's not a
then
congressional.
Oh,
let's
okay, that's what you mean.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. I should
No.
too.
Okay, I
So,
see now.
but
So
before we go down that path, Orange, when you were talking earlier about wish they had had foresight, wish they could have stopped him. all of that is secondary and actually irrelevant to the point that you and I agree on, which is that it's ICE's ultimate responsibility. If they're going to be in control of the situation, then they need to first be in control of themselves. And it's not clear to me, from what I've seen out of these two instances, that ICE in these two instances has had control of themselves. Do you disagree?
I don't know that there's enough facts about this fresh incident to draw a conclusion. I
So then
think
let's talk about the one that happened a week ago, where we do have the facts. Do you, that doesn't seem to me like that's ICE having control of themselves in the situation, but it seems that you disagree.
Well, that comes down to the
well,
narrative, right? The narrative was that
yeah.
she was going to run him over, and he was in immediate danger of his life when he
Right, but
shot that
right, but we're
bullet
we're
through
we're, we're
her
not
head.
yeah, we're not talking about narrative, we're not talking about spin, we're talking about an agent's ability to control themselves and control the situation.
No, but John, it is completely the narrative. If the narrative is that he was in danger of his life and he had to shoot her in the head as she passed by, then it was completely self-defense, and of course the agents should be allowed to defend themselves, right?
Right.
So it is 100% the narrative.
Okay. I guess so. I see what you're saying there, and I think for me, where I'm deeply concerned out of all of this, what appears to me, just from my perspective, is that we now have multiple instances involving ICE where a civilian has ended up dead, and ICE agents feeling like they were in fear for their lives. But we find out later that the agent that did the firing a week ago has a history of bad behavior. And this week, when somebody comes into a situation, like we don't seem to be we don't seem to be talking enough about, do we know about the mental health of these agents? Are we doing enough? Are they getting enough training so that they can de-escalate situations, so that they aren't just firing willy-nilly? That's the part that has
Okay.
me deeply concerned.
Okay, so let's do this then. Let's tens of thousands of us pour out in the streets and agitate them. Let's go ahead and piss them off and see if they're properly trained or not. I mean, the whole thing doesn't make sense.
I guess,
Oh,
but
take you bad apples.
Wait a minute, wait.
wait,
So the ICE can
Wait,
only
that's a
control
victim
themselves.
blaming mentality right there.
yeah,
What?
Orange.
Well, I'm just saying.
It's
I'm
the
just saying.
unruly. It's the
If
unruly
people,
public.
if people
How
Yeah,
can we
identify that,
expect
if
to
people
enforce the
identify that,
law if they're not going to cooperate? So
well, if people can
so
identify.
Orange, what about, just so that this kind of incident doesn't occur? How about they pass a law that says anyone who protests ICE must not have any guns. So there be gun control for ICE protests, and they can it'll be illegal to have a gun. Even in states that allow gun ownership, it's legal to have it when you're exercising your First Amendment. How about that?
Well, I don't think a gun is necessarily required in any situation.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
You don't need a gun, so they
no,
shouldn't be allowed to have a gun.
I mean, and granted,
It's for their own protection, though, right?
But
It's just
okay, so Orange, if you're saying that you don't think a gun is necessary in any situation, that doesn't that so that's that position doesn't apply to ICE, or it does apply to ICE.
no, they're law
well,
enforcement, so it doesn't apply.
yeah. I mean, would I if I were in charge, would I be okay with guns on either side? No.
Okay,
And from
okay,
a,
that's an intellectually honest position from you, and I want to point that out. You and I disagree on a lot of things, but I want to give you credit where it's due.
oh, appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, and from a and from a biblical standpoint, most importantly, there shouldn't be guns involved at all, right? There shouldn't be any violence of this nature. Period.
but if you're going to be an agent of the state, which a beat cop, an ICE agent, if you're an agent of the state,
Right.
shouldn't the state take responsibility to make sure that the agent that has that gun has had the proper training for for crowd control, de-escalation, gone through enough of a psychological background check to make sure that they're not going to just go crazy? I mean,
Yeah,
isn't it the responsibility of that isn't the responsibility of the state to make sure that to do all their due diligence to make sure that happens?
I think that's a reasonable expectation. I
Isn't
think
that
that
reasonable expectation being applied to ICE as it currently exists and being applied?
I think for the most part, I think most of the ICE agents are well mannered, well tempered, and are not going to just fire at every little thing that they think is going wrong. I mean, no, you can't have an agency filled with this many people that are all going to make perfect decisions.
Right, but these
They
last 2 weeks are just a wild coincidence.
Well, I mean, hey, you got to look at it both sides. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes on both sides. I'm not
I'm
condoning
I'm
ICE,
I'm worried.
and
I'm
I'm
worried
not.
about an agent of the state with
Uh,
the ability to assassinate and kill its citizens. Are you
yeah,
saying
I'm
that
less
last
worried
weekend?
about the tu quo que fallacy and more worried about their training, discipline, and also whether or not they need to be decentralized as an agency in general. That way they can actually have more focus on their individual training methods, de-escalation tactics, and whatnot,
Yeah,
and also a universal application of body cams.
right. So again,
Yeah,
Orange,
body cams are
we're
important.
yes. So
Tasers, more body cams. I think is a good start.
actually, you know what? I think you and I actually would agree on tasers and body cams. I'm not a fan of tasers, but given a choice between getting tased and getting shot, I know which one
Yes.
I prefer.
Taser every
Yeah.
time, baby.
Taser every
Yeah,
time.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah.
again, again, it feels like you're sort of. It feels like your position is last week and this week is just a wild coincidence,
Well,
and
no, I
not
think I'm.
and not potentially a view of a systemic problem with the agency itself.
That's
Like
actually a
for
good point.
example,
How
if
many
maybe
coincidences will it
they
have to be before it's enemy action, basically?
I mean,
So
I
if
can.
there's a problem with the agency, how people are going around about expressing that, I think is faulty at best. I mean, if they really want ICE defunded or they want, a reform, the way they're doing it is not going to. Do you actually feel that the way they're going about it is going to cause ICE to be defunded or there be reformation or more training? Is this going to result in that? I
Right.
just don't
So I
see
don't
that
think it's a
happening.
training. I don't think it's a training issue. You saw, even without the shooting, the way that the ICE agent just pushed that woman down. It's an issue with attitude. They don't see human beings as humans. It's just dehumanizing them and thinking that it's okay to behave the way they are behaving because they're above the law. They are getting away with killing people, so they don't see any issues with just pulling out a gun at the drop of a hat and pulling the trigger.
Well, let me ask you,
Well,
how come
Orange,
ICE isn't having this trouble in other states? I mean, ICE is in all states of the union. I'm just curious. I'm just asking. Why
hang
is
on,
it
mate.
specifically Minneapolis, Minnesota?
Because
Can
in
I
some states, Orange,
just?
in some states, the Trump administration has deliberately poured enormous numbers of them in there, far more than is necessary to undertake activities that don't make any sense for ICE agents to be doing, like, for example, attacking, or going after the Scamalians, as you called them last week. That's a policing activity, not an immigration activity.
Not to
And
mention, he also purposefully put those ICE agents in largely Democrat areas,
yeah, they're
Democrats,
focused.
cities, and whatnot,
That's
especially
right.
sanctuary cities. So it's a
No,
purposeful tactic on Trump's part for where those agents are being deployed.
And
I
they're
Well,
being
no,
deliberate.
they're in every
Being
state. I
deliberate.
mean, it's like, why is this only a localized thing in Minneapolis, Minnesota, not
Have,
in
have
other
you seen
states?
numbers of
They
people?
literally answered you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly
it
it.
didn't make sense to me. I didn't quite. Maybe I'm dumb or something, which is entirely possible. But that didn't make sense to me at all. I mean, they're in all the states. Why is it only? You're saying I'm an apologist. Somebody on the chat, I think, said I'm an apologist for ICE. It almost sounds like you're an apologist for the actions of the people in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It sounds like you're apologizing for them, but everybody else and all the other states, it's different. It's
Wait, but
fine. It's just this one.
Orange, the
Can
apology is
I?
for them exercising their First Amendment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're right back to the point I was making earlier, which is okay. So you've got, let's say that you've got people, yelling or having signs, and and being loud, and let's say that they're being obnoxious. Isn't it still the responsibility of the agent of the government, the agent of the state, to, as peacefully as is reasonably possible, to de-escalate the situation so that there is no death? Isn't that their responsibility?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, there were 22 people shot in the Detroit protests, and that was under a Democratic president, and people were rising up with weapons, and so the police fired and killed 22 people during that armed protest. I mean, these things do happen even under Democratic presidents. And if
Sure.
you look that up, the Detroit riots, it's pretty
I
sad.
am certainly not. I'm certainly
there's no
not
one
going
rioting
to.
here. That's the
So you're
difference.
claiming this is an armed protest?
Well, no, it was an armed individual, though. Whether he was brandishing it or not, the police saw it, right? It was a
Yeah,
matter
but
for concern.
your point was it
Okay, but
about was about it
having a
about
weapon,
being an armed protest.
having
So
someone with a
you
weapon
know,
doesn't justify
it's a
shooting them
different
unless they're,
situation.
making a threat.
Question: why do ICE need to go and put 50 ICE agents and stand them around in a car park? Like, for example, of a store where a person put a sign that says "ICE not welcome in my store." This is the sort of behaviour which gets done by like, you might be right. Most ICE agents might be perfectly reasonable people who are just trying to do a difficult job. I don't know whether that's true or not, but there is no doubt that further up the food chain, they are being directed to do activities that are unreasonable. As an example, I'll show you the. Let me share my screen here. ICE agents can now forcibly enter homes without a judge's warrant. So this is a clearly illegal act that ICE is being told they're allowed to do. And then when people say, hey, I know my rights, you're not allowed to do this, you can't come into my house, it escalates because of ICE being told, your average ICE agent being told, yeah, no, you're right. An administrative warrant will allow you to break down a door and go and
By
arrest
the way, that's against the Constitution as well.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Fourth
it's
Amendment in particular.
unwarranted search. That's unwarranted
Yep.
search and seizure.
It's the right one.
Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, so this is a whistleblower is saying that report saying that, and that the people who have put this memo out know that it's illegal because otherwise it wouldn't be this secret. So essentially, this is a memo that was addressed to all ICE personnel, but it was only given to a very select number of senior people who then briefed it to other members of ICE by giving them a piece of paper with it on it and then taking that piece of paper back. It wasn't put electronically. It wasn't handed out to the rank and file. They were then just briefed by the people further up. So they're being given very bad advice from people further up, and they're being pushed into these things where they are. This is escalation, and it's illegal. That's the problem that's happening. So yes, the ICE agents may be trying to do the right thing, but the people directing them are definitely not. They are pushing this to try and escalate, and there's no doubt about that. Like using a 5-year-old child as bait to pull his dad out. So keep the little 5-year-old outside in the cold. So dad has to come outside to get to him, so they can arrest the two of them, even though both of them are not illegals. They entered at a normal port by announcing themselves and asking for asylum, and were currently going through the court process to receive asylum. No laws had been broken whatsoever. They entered the states legally, but they were still detained by ICE. They were told to go and arrest these people. This is what's happening, and it's the sort of thing that escalates and makes people angry.
Yeah.
You'd be angry if your neighbour gets arrested inappropriately, and then somebody else's neighbour, somebody else, and you'll see it happening all throughout your community. Of course, you'd be angry.
Yeah. And Orange, if I saw you being arrested by ICE as a potentially illegal immigrant, you would want me to be upset, wouldn't you?
Sure, and that would work both ways, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
of course, of course.
uh,
And part of
I,
part of what has people upset here is on the worst case scenario, we have examples of agents of the state killing American citizens, and at best, we also have the other thing that's got people
By the
upset.
way, without repercussion,
Yeah, without
right?
repercussion. But
Yeah.
we also have, without repercussion, examples where American citizens are being arrested, detained, and and deported.
Also,
Yeah, there was an American citizen who got deported to El Salvador. I
Yeah.
remember that.
So to ask the question, how come people are upset? That is why. It doesn't matter if it's not happening in every single state. The fact that it's happening at all should have you enraged that your government, my government, this government is killing American citizens and arresting, detaining, deporting American citizens with no sign of any repercussion. And
and
it feels like you're okay with that. And that can't be. I've got to be misunderstanding that situation from you.
well, yes, for sure you are. So,
Okay. Excellent.
so
And I apologize.
okay, no problem. And thanks for addressing your concern because first of all, I neither support nor defend ICE, but I do support authority in general. I think authority is necessary to have some measure of law and order within the country. So it's not any specific person or
And I bet
agency.
you and I could have a fun conversation for hours about who does what to whom and who
I'm
pays.
sure, yeah. But here's my concern. Here's my problem,
The
is that
phrase "reasonable authority" comes to mind.
Yeah.
yes, reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, of
so
course.
Right. But who
if
decides
ICE,
reasonable?
so if ICE just invaded your church and just pulled people out, they said were, oh, this person is illegal, that they claim is illegal, and even if they're not, they just go in and pull them out. Would you be okay with that?
Well, no, that would
Because
suck, but that's not.
they have authority, right? They you have to respect authority.
Well, it would suck. He, in the context of this discussion, he asked, "Would I be angry if I saw ICE attacking him, or he saw ICE attacking me? Would you have a right to be angry?" And of course, yes, absolutely. However, respect for authority comes in many different forms. But the point is that the situation's only going to get worse at this point, right? There's going to be more people flooding into the streets. There's going to be more ICE agents sent in. There's going to be more. With the military, I saw video footage of the National Guard, massive big Humvees pouring into Minneapolis. So I don't know if this is true. I only saw the one video clip, but it looked like National Guard is being sent in tonight by the dozens of vehicles, armored vehicles. So here again, the situation
So
is only
unreasonable authority then.
well. Is it reasonable given the current climate over there? I don't know.
Because it's not an armed protest.
No, it's really not.
they're
No, but
peaceful.
it's
Yeah.
a violent
So,
one. It's a violent protest. I mean,
but what has caused it to be violent? We do
What,
need to
what,
sort of look at. We do need to look at the
what
cause and
violent
effect.
protest? What violent protest?
Yeah.
Where's all of the burning? Where's
The only violence is from the ICE.
the only people who are shooting are the ICE agents. The only people who are throwing flashbangs are ICE agents.
Mhm.
But Yeah. So where the
No, you're
violence
right.
from one
Because
side.
Alex Pritt didn't shoot that didn't fire a single shot.
Correct. Yes. So, but the point is that the whole thing is escalating, right? There's no de-escalation on either side going on. Tim Walz is even saying, we have to stand up to these people. We have to fight for our country, our city.
Within our rights, right? Because we
Doing it.
have the right to
Do
But he's
protest.
not.
Well,
We have
you
He's,
you
so
prefer surrender?
and
Submission.
neither side is calling for peace right now, right? ICE isn't. The governor is not. The
The
people are not.
governor is not calling for violence. He's calling for you
The governor has several
exercising your
times called for
constitutional
peace.
rights.
And no, let me address Craig Kelly here because he's kind of a little crybaby that's come on a few times. Orange, did you vote for Trump? No, I did not. In fact, I've never voted for Trump. I've never voted for anyone.
Oh,
I'm nearly 60 years old, and I've never voted. I'm not even registered to vote. I got lots of hate mail after last week's session. It's kind of funny. You're a fascist, and you support fascism. It's like, what? What are you talking about? I never voted for Trump. I never voted for any of this.
No.
Yeah, but you vote for the or
Craig's a
you
better Christian
support
than
the
you, Tim.
policy.
Yes, you support the policies.
yeah. The problem
I
is,
support.
Orange.
I support
I think intellectually, I think I intellectually understand sort of where you're coming from on the position of voting. I think I can kind of wrap my brain around it. And I disagree with you, but I see where you're coming from. But the problem is that the way things are right now, not voting is voting, because by not casting that civic vote to say this is acceptable, this is not acceptable, it gives permission and it gives space for this administration to do what it's doing. And so now you have a situation where you have ICE agents behaving the way that they are, not de escalating. You have citizens seeing other citizens being arrested, detained, and deported at best, and at worst, dying in the streets. And so, where does that leave them? And if the,
so,
and if ICE can't be responsible for their own behavior and stop their own agents from firing on their own citizens, where does that leave us?
okay. Well, so here's the issue with what I have with everything. It's just, again, everybody is fueling all sides. There's no one that's taking the olive branch to do any form of de-escalation. And yes, no voting is.
To be clear, Orange, I do not want violence in the streets. I do not want further bloodshed. I do not want any more deaths. I do not want any. I want us to be able to find this path forward. But what I'm asking you is, right now, what has this administration left us with as far as a path forward? If they're not going to take responsibility, but if we exercise our First Amendment rights, if we exercise our Second Amendment rights, they will shoot us. So where does that leave us?
So maybe it has to take a different form. Does Reformation have to go in this manner? Does Reformation have to mean standing outside in minus 20-degree weather, yelling and screaming?
Wait a minute. The Reformation that you're talking about is ICE not killing citizens.
Yeah,
That's not Reformation.
No, I'm asking a question. People want reform.
just
People
them
want
doing the
change.
bare minimum.
So I'm not saying anything. I'm asking a question. And pretty much this whole time I've been only asking questions, not making statements. So again, is this the best way? Is this the best way right now if people really want change on this earth, or in America rather? Is this really in fact the best method? Because I'm not seeing that it is. And going back to Craig Kelly, you can't. Oh no, Neil Roberts. No, you can't call Craig a car baby. So I made a couple notes from Craig Kelly. Hey, is Orange here this week? A double question mark. Hey, he caused enough damage last week. And then later on he says, how do you think the U.S. will recover from this? Really? We went through 9/11. We've gone through all kinds of atrocities. So yes, this Craig Kelly is a crybaby, and I stand by that.
In 9/11,
So,
world stood
Okay.
with you, and in this, you're alienating the entire world. That's the
Okay,
difference.
I'm going to put a stop here on this because I don't
Orange.
think we need
Yeah.
to.
By the way, Orange. To
Uh,
be clear, I think you're a decent guy. I think you mean well, but I think that you've buried your head in the sand, and I say that with respect to you, man. We disagree on a lot of things, but I really want to encourage you to take a look at the reality of the fact that by being silent with your vote and by staying on the sidelines while all of this is happening, you give space for it to continue. Now, that does not mean that you have the blood of those people on your hands, but I want you to really look deep within your heart to ask yourself, the longer you do nothing, the longer you allow this to continue, how many more people have to be deported and how many more people have to die before you're willing to get off the bench and do something peacefully, non-violently, but how many more have to suffer before you're willing to do something?
Well, I'm not doing nothing. And from your perspective, I may be doing nothing, but everybody in my world, all my friends and family, we all share the same ideals, and we're not out there protesting. We're not out there making a scene. We're not putting ourselves and our
And what are
families in
you doing?
harm's way.
Don't tell me what you're not doing. Tell me what you are doing.
Can I
We're
just
staying at home looking to God, right? We're staying at home.
okay.
We're not putting
Ook,
Okay.
ourselves
Well,
in
hold on.
harm's way.
okay.
Ook has been trying to talk for a while.
Okay.
What
Sorry,
did you want to say, Ook?
I was going to say, is there? I found it interesting that no churches have sort of come in and said, pulled the sanctuary card, even though it's not legal, allowed anymore. But it'd show that the churches are for rational, peaceful settlement of the immigration problem you're having over there. Also, petitions. I don't know whether public petitions have carry any weight in America, but in Australia they do. So I mean, start a public petition for transparency, uh, better oversight, that sort of thing. You know, not everyone can get out in the street and protest, but are there other ways? As I said, I'm not sure what's going on over in Seppo, whether um, petitions even do anything, but that
Very
might be
rarely.
one way.
Yeah, I think if everybody lived by Bible standards, I think none of this would be happening. I think people
What's a
would come in. I think people would
That's
pour
because
into
everyone would be
this
Yeah,
country.
you
stoned.
don't want to go down that
Okay.
route.
Yeah. So let's not start up a new topic on that. I do want to save that for later, and I want to start winding down. But just to kind of start getting a little more levity here, here is a Key and Peele speech, a skit that I think kind of, um, you know, is emblematic of how the way I see ICE's reaction here.
Because I got a popsicle. You
Yeah. So basically, just shoot, just to react. Uh,
Did you see the other sketch? When this was stuck in the middle?
oh, look, he only
Check
shoots
in the
the.
home group.
I wasn't definitely not expecting this.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way I see how ICE responded. Basically, oh, he's got a gun, and just shoot, just shoot. So. Okay.
Oh,
Well.
I just, hang
Sorry.
on
Yeah.
I just wanted to say in my mucking around on the net the last few days, I found a really good channel that gives it's a doctor from the UK. She's one of the leading experts in transgender care and health and all that. I'll drop her channel name and stuff in the comments here, but I'll also put it in the comments of the thing. She is Dr. Helen Weberly. Oh, missing the top teeth there. But yeah, I'll pop that in. She's a really good, sane, level-headed. Take it from both. She's really good. So I'll pop that in the link there. That's just something because the whole immigration and transgender everything is getting lumped in together, and I think it's just it's a bush stew of it's going to set fire to something shortly.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's that thing of yeah. Maybe if you've got a public petition running through just one denomination of Christianity, if they could get a couple of million signatures, send it to the governor, send it to anyone in power, I would think that would have to get some sort of response. So there's a peaceful thing. Craig, I think, sorry, Orange, it has worked in Australia. Give it a go.
So, yeah, if you put that in the link, I can put it into the notes. But just before we close, Monkey Boy here, and whenever I mention Monkey Boy,
while you can, Monkey Boy.
so he and Machiavelli had some back and forth. The discussion he erased for some reason, even though he claims he beat you, Machiavelli, as he usually does.
Well, he has to go and lick his wounds, and he also has to look up the comments too.
Is that what he calls it?
A little hint there, Machiavelli, when you go for a really in-depth combo like that one you had with Donkey, take a screenshot.
Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah, I mean it really does. That way because they outright lie, and screenshots are always fun.
Yeah, so I at least copied that one response, the first response he gave you, and I thought it was just really interesting how he really argued for sex and gender not being identical, not being directly mapped. I mean, they're obviously connected, but he talks about how biological sex is one descriptive layer of the sexual phenomenon, while gender names a distinct normative conceptual layer governing recognition and meaning. And it's actually, pretty relatively coherent, right? So he essentially is saying, the biological sex is not the same as gender, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Pirate Coon comes and says, you say they are different things, but they really are not. And apparently these two guys have a disagreement, but I don't see them fighting it. All I see is them having their hug box, as Monkey Boy likes to say. So I thought this was really funny, but apparently Monkey Boy doesn't.
I agree with you there, Q, about that. I want to see if we'll get to it one day.
And again, they haven't shown up in the debates. Oh, you guys saw my comment about methanose, right? Or meth head, or whatever.
Just call it meth head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Like, oh no, when you invite me on an online live stream, that's about as arbitrary as me saying that we should meet at a neutral country, and what I don't know, debate there. But it was such an interesting way for him to cope with the fact that he is too scared to come on. But Monkey Boy is a big fan of him.
Really?
Well, if only we could provide them with a link, then they'd be able to come.
Yeah, 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 and Methanos was he came in, trying to pretend he's some, objective external commenter, but it's pretty clear where he stood.
He kind of reminds me, you guys talking about meth head, reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. A coward dies 1,000 deaths, but the courageous taste death but once.
But once, yeah.
Good old Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So I have to head out, but I just want to ask I just want to ask one last question. I was making a purchase on the internet the other day, and I used my credit card, and it was going through. It said, "Please wait a few moments to process your payment," and about 4 seconds later, it did, and so I got to thinking, well, what's longer, a few moments, or should it just said, "Please wait a moment"? I'm really confused by that. I think that's inappropriate that it said, "Please wait a few moments," when just saying, "Please wait a moment" would have been sufficient. So what do you guys think on that?
How
You
dare
know
they?
what?
Wow.
I'm gonna have to hop offline and think about that until next week.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah,
to wait a few
actually,
moments in order
Yeah.
I
to
think my
give
brain
you a
just
response.
broke.
Orange. I mean, just so that we understand exactly what happened, can you post your credit card number
Yeah, you
and
know what?
seriously,
Yeah,
Oh,
while you're at
Well,
it,
we'll
you
look
put
into it.
your social
I need their
security
social. I
right
need the
underneath.
social. With the
We need their
progress.
life
So
history.
Don't
yeah,
forget
so
CVV.
so is a few moments longer than a moment? I really need help on this, guys. I'm really
That sounds like
I'm
a very
Well,
deep
relying
philosophical
on you.
question.
I'm
Yes.
That's
relying on you guys
philosophical.
for an answer here.
Well, if you allow me to get Jordan Peterson on you, what really is it that it means to be a moment? I mean, because the moments could all be identical across the metaphysical substrate, and then you'll have to find a way to reach your epistemic
Hey.
ontological sufficiency.
Oh my goodness.
Orange. All right, I gotta hop off. Orange. I hope you
All
have a
right.
fantastic week, and I hope
You
you
too.
decide. I really want you to come off the bench. It's better. It's better when you're actively on the playing field. I promise.
Well, maybe
All
one day
right.
I'll discuss what I'm doing on the playing field that's different from what you guys are doing, and then we can debate that whose playing field is better. But I want to disclose I'm not just doing nothing. I am doing something, but it's a
Okay.
lot more than what you're thinking. So hey, that could be a future discussion in itself. I'd love
Yep.
to do that.
That sounds
Yep.
like something we could talk about.
Everybody, stay
Sounds good.
warm. Stay
Yeah,
safe.
definitely.
Ugh.
Or Ook, stay warm. Blark, stay warm.
I hate you guys
Yes,
right
yes.
now.
Both of you, stay really
Yeah,
warm.
yeah.
I hate
You
you right
also stay
now.
warm,
Both of
bud.
you.
Ah.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Craig, as always, and Aaron, and Tuna. I hope you're still on and watching. But thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks,
All right.
thanks
This is
everyone.
the best
Everybody,
field
go keep well.
in the world.
Take
is
care.
not-
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Challenge your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives, the heart is quick. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Cut through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end. Scriptures written in disguise, veiling men in holy lies. Faith without a place to land, truth that crumbles when it's scanned. Show me logic carved in flame, not a God who hides in shame. Test the world and break the spell. Truth survives where falsehoods fail. Hold your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives, the heart is quake. innocent. This is fallacy season.